What do I farm in Shipments, Master? Here's my guide, Obi-Wan. Greetings and hello there, everyone. It's me, your Star Wars Dad Nooch Too Good, and I'm here today to talk about a beginner's guide for shipments. We're gonna look at these shipments. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, and I want to get this out there. A lot of you guys that are watching me are beginning players, new players, players starting accounts and maybe don't know what they're doing. So I want to talk about all these different shops here. Now you open them up as the game goes forward. You start with the featured shipment, then you go to weekly shipment, Cantina opens up, guild activity, squad arena, Galactic War. They kind of open it almost in order. It kind of mixes and matches as it goes along here. But let's talk about every shipment, or I'm going to call them stores while we're here, and how it goes along. Now we've got some cool things with this video. We've got some X's here that we can put stuff out there and say, don't farm this or whatever, that we'll talk as we go through some tools we can use to reset from time to time. And then we may be able to prioritize some stuff that you do farm with 1Zs, 2Zs, 3Zs. So pay attention to the tools. Allow me the time to reset the tools in between shipments or stores, and I'll help you out there. So number one, if we start at the top here, I'm not gonna start with in the featured shipment, any X's, but if you're going to be a spender, you're gonna get crystals. This is not a bad place to get the characters you want for the crystals required. It's not really the ideal perfect place. There's some stuff down here. I can't really advise you on this. Although 700 crystals for 20 of these, I guess it's okay. You see a lot of that in the weekly shipments too. The main thing you're gonna do in the featured shipment, are these pieces right here. These 4 pieces are available for credits, and you should buy them every single time you open it up. Not only will these gear pieces help you at the beginning of the game as a beginner, but they will also be there later, and you can convert them into relic materials later in the game. So whatever the case is, always buy these every time they pop up. Never miss buying these. Every time it refreshes 4 times a day, every 6 hours. Buy these every time for credits. It's not going to hurt you. You can do it. Another thing here, right in this spot right here, and I think it's mainly in that spot, you're going to see the Razor Crest, okay? I think it's only in the spot. If you're going for the Executor and you're going to be spending some crystals, this is not a bad place to get Razor Crest shards. The only other place is in the Fleet Arena shop, which we will show you later. But that's kind of random. It's also random here, but Razor Crest, not a bad place to buy it here. Then you get into some more character shards. Characters that are double drops. But you can see right here, Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca's been around for a while. 32 shards for 1280. If you're spending crystals, I guess it's not a horrible place to grab them, but if you know they're going to be going to double drops soon, then you probably want to wait for the double drops before you spend any crystals to get them here. And then you go down. It's got some, I wouldn't buy any of this stuff here. Now we're getting into big spender territory, which leads us to weekly shipments. Now, you can see that I have spent 1 million credits on the B-28 extension class bomber. That's because I have 64 million credits. The farther down the road you get, the more credits you're gonna have. At the beginning of the game, you ain't got no credits, so don't spend no credits here. Don't do it. I don't care what you do. 10 shards or 4 shards or 4 ship shards, not worth 1 million credits. Don't do it. This also, so we'll put some X's here. Don't do this. As a beginner, we're talking to beginners right now, okay? When you get 60 million credits, 100 million credits, and right now, I'm gonna do this. I will do this for me. I'm gonna get some extra shard shop currency that I can use to buy some Datacons. That's worth it for me. Not for you as a beginning player. This also, not worth it. Don't buy this. This currency can get you so much more than 10 of these Mark V fusion furnaces. And whatever the piece is, no matter what the piece is here, don't do it. This currency, you spend it to unlock bronziums. It's a much better exchange rate in there than that. Same thing here. Don't buy these. Oh wait, I still got the X's on there. But the X's are going to stay up. Don't buy any of these. Don't buy any of these. Although, that doesn't look too bad. 5 Omegas. If you really need Omegas for 825 of those, although, that's not the worst exchange rate I've seen. Not the worst, but I wouldn't recommend buying that there. I wouldn't recommend buying it. Let's put our X's back for now. What else we got in here? And then you start getting into crystals. This is not worth it at all. 2,000 of these Mark II currency for Mark II raid currency for 5 Kyrotex. No, don't do this. Never do this. Let's put the X in over here. We'll put it over both of them. Don't do both of those. This is a good place, actually. Right here is a good place to buy crystals. Spend crystals to buy the light side currency and dark side currency so that you can build up and play when you get Galactic Legend, these get your tickets. These are your tickets to play Galactic Legend nodes. So that's not a bad investment right there if you got some crystals. And the rest is going to be characters. Once you unlock Gas, you can buy these shards here. Same thing with Malik, you can buy them for crystals. These are all crystal characters here the rest of the way, and some gear down at the bottom. A lot of gear here. Now, I recommend not doing this, farming for this stuff here. The better way to do this is to go into a character that you need. If you really want to buy some gear with crystals, and opening them up, open the character up, click on the piece of gear, click on this, click on this, click on it again, and you find it. And now I can buy the gear here. 700 crystals, you can't really see that. 700 crystals, 875 for 25, etc. It'll show it to you right here. So don't do that in the shop. You spend a lot of time scrolling. You're not going to be sure who you need it for, etc., etc., etc. So that covers the first two shops. Cantina Battles. Let's cover this. For a new player, you're not going to be farming Cassian's Ewing. You don't want that. That's a big X right there. And don't do these. This isn't, I guess that's not horrible, but I just don't do these. You're going to get these in lots of other places. For a new player, don't do that stuff. I'm going to make this a little more messy up here. Now, Stormtrooper Han is some of you will want to farm as a new player in this shop, but don't do these either. This is not a good place to get these ability mats. Bad, bad, bad. Bad place to do that. I wish I could find a way to scroll this here, guys, but I can't. I couldn't find a way to make it scroll. I guess I can make a picture, but it's the graphic intensity of that. Chopper's a guy you'll want to farm if you're getting Phoenix, otherwise don't mess with him. Early game players, don't mess with Biston, don't mess with Pow, not your farms. Not your farms early game. I guess if you're going to be going for a Jedi Master Luke early, you could get Pow to go along with Mon Mothma, or Biston to go along with his ship. And by the way, up here is Cassian's doing, unless you're getting Cassian and Jin early on, not worth it as well. Jawa Scavenger, I'm going to cross him off. I'm kind of doing him now as a little passion project. Jedi Knight Guardian is a massive cross-off. You don't ever need to farm her. You'll get her through Bronzium. She's not worth anything in the game at all. Don't farm Jedi Knight Guardian. Ahsoka is a definite farm, and there we'll prioritize her in a minute. Fives is a farm. Boba Fett is a farm, not Hoth Rebel Scout for you early gamers. If you're going to go get a Mon Mothma team, then yes, we'll go get a Hoth Rebel Scout. As we scroll further, I'm trying to scroll on my screen over here. Mob Enforcer is a no-no unless you're going for Jabba. Now, you may eventually get it for Jabba, and that's fine. But early game, no. Stormtrooper, I'm going to say no, although you can use him, for Imperial Troopers. And Old Daka, no. Again, this is a beginner's guide, guys. A beginner's guide for these characters. Early on in the game, you're not going to be farming those. Qui-Gon Jinn is a yes. First Order Officer is only going to be there if you get Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Otherwise, you don't need him. And Poe Dameron's only there if you're going to go get Rey. Otherwise, you don't need her. Now, let's do some prioritization here. Let's jump into our other screen. Ta-da! Numbers. Numero uno. Numero uno goes to Boba Fett. Boba Fett is your #1 priority here. You want to farm Boba Fett. He's the first character you need to unlock out of the shop. He's going to help you with, well, numerous things, but mainly credit heist. He's going to be your go-to guy for credit heist early in the game, so unlock Boba Fett in the shops. There's your first guy to do there. Who's going to be #2 in the shop? It's going to, I'm going to move this so I can get #2. It's going to be Ahsoka. Ahsoka is #2 right there. You're going to farm Ahsoka. She's a useful character. You get shards for her already anyway, but she also has a ship that's pretty easily attainable, and ships are super duper important in the game, so Ahsoka's going to be #2 in this shop. #3 goes to your pal and mine, Stormtrooper Han. #3 here is Stormtrooper Han. He'll be third. He's in there for your Commander Luke Skywalker farm. That's what you need him for. Not much else early game with Stormtrooper Han. And then finally, #4 coming into this shop is Qui-Gon Jinn. You're going to need him. You can add him to Anakin. Qui-Gon has an Omicron. You add to Anakin. It turns Anakin into a massive wrecking ball. You came on like a wrecking ball. And so there you go. Qui-Gon is up there next. Let's put these back in order. Into... a 3, a 1, a 2, a 3, a 3. All right, so there you go. There's your order of farming for the Cantina Battle Shop. And again, some of these other guys you will farm as well. I guess 5s would be #5 in there. That's appropriate. But you'll farm some other guys if you're going for other stuff in that place. So let's take a look now at the guild activity. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. A lot of stuff going on in here. This gear is definitely farmable, but you're going to want to do character shards first. Now, one thing of note, there is a piece here. It is a Mark 7 ball like this. Is it a Mark 7 ball? I think it's a ball, yes. A Mark 7 ball. Let me go look to make sure. Let me go look. Let's go look in the scavenger shop. We'll pull up that piece so I can show it to you. It's going to be right in here, and it's going to be... Where are you, baby? It's not a ball. It's not a ball at all. It is this piece right here. So you take this piece. That's not the piece. That's not the piece. Where am I here? Mark 7. I'm in the middle of the video and I'm struggling. You're gonna convert. Oh, I know what it is. Here, let's clear it. Let's clear it. I know what it is. It is, hold on everybody. Hold your horses. It's this piece right here. That's gonna show up. Look at that. I get 34 chromium transistors for 10 of these. This is actually going to show up in the spot. I'm gonna go ahead and convert these right now. This is actually going to show up in that gear piece right there in the guild activity shop. So if we go to the guild activity shop, right here where this is, right here where this is. This is going to be a big priority for you in the shop. In fact, I think it's the #1 priority is to farm those Mark 7 circles whenever you get them. Right there that you just saw, because you get so many of those, chromium transistors, whatever they're called. Big, 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 important right there. Hey, this first row right here, Stark is my #1 guy to farm as a beginner. He goes with my Imperial Troopers. He helps. I love my Imperial Trooper team. It helps me get R2-D2. Big farm right there. #2 over here is Dengar. I love Dengar. Same thing, he's there all the time. You can farm First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. It can help you early on. When you get to level 78, you need a bunch of 5-star ships that can help you, but I'm not going to mark it right now. Characters like this, I just don't think you should do them in here. Resistance Trooper, if you're going for Ray, fine. Tusken Shaman, if you're going to build a Tusken team, doesn't really go anywhere else. Kylo Ren, if you're going for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, that's fine. Let's scroll up a little bit. Talia, Sith Assassin. Now, these are some random stuff, okay? Some random stuff. You should definitely never farm Zetas with Mark 1 material. Definitely never, ever do that. Never do that. Again, these characters have uses other places, etc. Here you are going to farm these. I'm not going to put arrow magnifiers, impulse detectors, Zimbiddle cards. Those are going to be farmed in here with your Mark 1 currency. Your Mark 1 currency, you can be buying these Mark 1 raid currency. You can also buy the girded keypads, but I think the conversion rate is better for your actual gear with that. But you can think about that too. That's for gear. That's for Relic 9. All these are farmable. All of these are farmable right here. All these pieces you can farm, and there's no real priority. Again, I suggest going to your characters, farming them from your characters rather than in here. Farm these gear pieces from characters you need when they show up, and you've got the currency available to buy it when you're in the character. That's when you farm from this shop. So you do that by characters. Now, this is important for new players. Let me get the numbers up here. Hermit Yoda, Wampa, Rebel Officer Leia Organa, and eventually Gas and Malik. But those 3 right there, I'm going for Jabba. Everything I do right now is based on Jabba. You're going to want to farm these characters in here. #1 is Wampa. Farm Wampa with this Mark II raid currency. That is #1. Get his Omicron on him. Make him work. #2 is going to be Hermit Yoda up here. I'll bring him down a little bit. Hermit Yoda is going to be really effective for any Jedi teams you have. He's going to really make you go. And then #3, if you haven't farmed, I'm going to put #3 on Rebel Officer Leia Organa. Rebel Officer Leia Organa is required for Jedi Knight Luke, and you need him to get Jabba. So if you're farming Jabba like me, those are your priorities. Now let's talk a little bit about how that could be different and mixed up here if you're not farming for Jabba or something else right off the bat. And that's going to be Imperial Probe Droid. Don't worry about it. Whatever. If you're going to do a gas rush, or you're going for Lord Vader, or you're doing an Old Republic Sith Empire, and you're going for Darth Malik, then you need to spend the currency here. But I still think no matter what you do, no matter where you farm it, no matter what you do, I don't want that one. I want this one. I don't want that one. I want this one. Good Lord. Wampa. I think Wampa is always #1 with this Mark II currency in this shop. I love Wampa. Early, mid, even late game. I guess end game is not really working as much in Grand Arena anymore. Early, late, mid game, you're going to want to farm Wampa in this shop and with your Get One currency as well. Now, this currency is a thing here too. Once again, I kind of recommend farming this from your characters until you get used to it. Eventually, you'll be able to come in here and see the kind of gear that you need that'll work with the characters here. And you can see I got a bunch of it. This is kind of making Gear 12 a little bit irrelevant. Irrelevant's not the right word, but you should farm this from your character menus. When you're on a character menu and they need this gear, that's when you grab this stuff here. But this Mark 1 or Mark 2, whatever. Mark 1, Mark 2, I've been saying it wrong. Mark 3, I've been saying it wrong. Mark 1, Mark 2, I've reversed it. Sorry. You're going to want to initially use your Mark 1 currency for Han Solo, General Kenobi, and Traya. And I don't know the order exactly. I kind of think Han Solo is first for your CLS teams because people get him first, or they tend to get him first. General Kenobi next for your Negotiator or your Padme teams, and Traya last. But honestly, if you farmed it in a different order, I really wouldn't blame you. That should be your first priority. That should be your first priority with this Mark III currency, is get these 3 unlocked ASAP. They're a big deal. You can do some prestigious quests, get a bunch of gear with them, get that done. As we move down here, these characters are all gonna, these are the same characters you saw above, but they're all here. There's no variance. They're not in and out. They're always all here. So let's talk about these characters. Prioritization is a little bit tough in here because your farms will vary. But if you're doing like I am and you're going for Jabba, and I think almost anybody actually, I think Colonel Stark is first. Get him to 7 stars in this shop, and then you can get your Imperial Trooper. I need a drink. Hang on. You can get Colonel Stark up to 7 stars, get him with your Imperial Troopers, go get R2. He's going to do a lot of good for you. I don't know that, and I'm not going to put any X's here because I just got the numbers up. I don't know that Jawa Engineers fallen in there. If you're going to do a Jawa Passion Farm, Young Han Solo, that actually, I will do an X for that. We'll do a big fat X. Unless you're Glurmit, don't farm Young Han Solo. Get him out of there. Next row, what do we got? Dengar is going to be a big, I'm going to go by row here. Actually, no, we'll do the 2. This is tough. This is tough. Prioritizing here is tough. So I'm just going to go row by row, and we'll put 1s by people that you should farm and X's by people you shouldn't. Dengar's a big farm. You need him in your Bounty Hunter team. You need him for Executor. He's a great character. He goes really well with Bosk. The others here, I'm just going to say, oh, wrong button. I'm just going to say Gammo. If you're going for Jabba, you're going to need Gammo. And if you're going for Profundity, you'll need Jyn Erso. But generally speaking, early in the game, you can wait a little bit on them. You don't need them right away. Hey, this whole row is a bunch of big X's. If you're going for Rey, you need Scavenger Rey. Snow Trooper, I'm told, is a really big, easy relic level. He'd go with Iden Versio. Resistance Trooper is only there for Rey. I wouldn't really bother farming those guys very much at all. Next row, we go to Paplu, Ewok Elder, and I'm a Gundai. Let's put a big X on I'm a Gundai. He actually doesn't fit anywhere. Nowhere. The guy fits nowhere. Doesn't fit into any farms. He is just I'm a Gundai, the Gundai. But these Ewoks, my friend, these Ewoks, number 1 out of these Ewoks, Paplu, number 1, right here. You need to farm Paplu. And I wonder if, as a new player, the Ewoks being so available here is going to change the way that this shop works and change the way the C-3PO unlocks work. I think people will be unlocking C-3PO a lot quicker by getting the Ewoks all the time. They used to be kind of popping up at random. Now they pop up all the time. Plus, you can farm all the Gear 12 gear for them, and you need to get them to give out Gear 11 to make that journey, or that C-3PO journey at Gear 11 with good mods will be achievable for you. Ewok Elder, I'm going to put as a 2 in here. You can farm him in here. You will eventually unlock him with Bronziums, but you can supplement those Bronziums by farming him in the shop as well. Luke Skywalker Farm Boy is going to be a priority just because you need him for Commander Luke Skywalker. Sunfac is a priority because he's going to be in your first fleet, your Geo fleet. That Geo team is really a banger team early and mid-game, and even late game you can use it on offense, but mainly for your fleet, your early fleet, you need Sunfac, and Night Sister Acolyte is going to get a big old red X across her face. Don't farm Night Sister Acolyte. Nobody needs her for nothing. Tusken Shaman, again, unless you're building a Tusken team, you don't need that guy. Hey, Zam Wessel. We like Zam Wessel, and Darth Maul. Darth Maul will fit into a Sith Eternal team, and now he's going to fit into a Leviathan team, but again, we're talking for new players here. Zam Wessel. I like her farm. Again, I'm just going 1-2 by row. I don't know if she's the first character you get, but when you put her with a bounty hunter team and she's got her Omicron, she makes that bounty hunter team. She gives them a bunch of extra health, protection, speed, offense, etc. Down here, hey, Rex and Echo, we love. Rex and Echo, we love. They go with the Gas 501st team. They can go with a Shakti team early on. They're just really good characters to farm. I don't know if they'd be my first priority. I think the Ewoks would be my first priority. But then when we go over to Cody, that's going to be a big X for you. Cody, unless you're going for Jedi Master Kenobi, which you can do down the road, you don't need to farm Cody shards in here. It's not really going to help you very much at all. He's not a great character. Low Gray! Get in on those low gray shards, boys and girls. Make it happen. Old Ben Kenobi, you're going to need him for your CLS farm, so get him done too. But I can't emphasize enough, low gray being in there is a really big deal in that shop. And then we go X on Kylo Ren. I love Kylo Ren. I got him on my roster. You only really need him if you're going for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. Barris Ophi, Phone. Finn phone home, Barriss Ophi, Finn, Isla Sakura. Now, Isla Sakura is needed for Jedi Master Kenobi again. Finn is needed for Rey. Barriss Ophi is needed for... nobody? Is she in the Lord Vader? Anyway, I like Barriss Ophi. She has a fun little Zeta, but not really going to do much for your team early on. Talia, I'm going to put a big X beside her. You can go with Spirit. Talia can help you in the Night Sisters Assault battle, but you shouldn't farm her here. You'll eventually get her through Bronziums. Kit Fisto is going to be a big fat X. Magna Guard, I'm going to like Magna Guard. Now, he really only goes with, oh, there's a wrong button again. I got too many things loaded up here. Sorry, guys. Magna Guard, I don't think he should be your first priority in this shop, but eventually he really goes well with that Separatist droid team with General Grievous. Same thing with Super Battle Droid down here. Clone Sergeant, you could farm Clone Sergeant. You might be able to farm his ship early on. I'm going to say it's a 2. I don't know, those aren't really, down here at the bottom, these aren't big priorities, but you could farm them. Sith Assassin for new players, not something to bother with. That's going to be a Leviathan farm for sure. First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot. Now, these could be, I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go to the numbers. I'm clicking the wrong buttons again. I'm gonna put like a 4 on this. I'm gonna put like a 4 on both of these. You could farm them early in the game to have them available for level 78 when you got to get a bunch of 5-star ships, but I'm just gonna go with a low priority. I love the Ewoks in there. Get the Ewoks all over the place. Now, you can farm these prestige tokens. That can be farmed there. If you got prestige tokens and you're lacking on them, this is not a bad place to get them. I'm going to put it as a number 2 priority. Credits, maybe. I'm not a big fan of doing this. I'm going to put an X here. I think you should find your credits in other places. But if you're low, and I guess you have, I mean, that's 2,000 squad arena currency. I'm not going for that. I'm putting big X's on 2 of these. Mace Windu is somebody you can farm for sure. I like Mace Windu here. I'm going to put him, I should have been doing this, but I'm putting him at 2. He goes with that fleet, that's fine, but eventually he really fits into a Padme team is really where you really want him. On the next row, we're going to put some X's in here. Chief Nebbit. Princess Leia is not an X. Chief Nebbit's an X, unless you really got a Jawa passion project you're working on. Tarkin is the first guy you farm in here. Tarkin is the first guy you farm in here. And Princess Leia is the second person you farm in here. She's going to go for CLS. Tarkin goes for the Executrix. You need the Executrix at level 78 to get your Zetas. So that's going to be the order you do there. Tarkin, that's in the whole shop, by the way. That's the whole shop. Tarkin and then Leia. This whole next row is a big fat X. If you're going to be going for like gas, Greedo's needed for Jabba, that's fine. Asajj is needed for gas, but unless you're going for gas, you don't need to farm anything in this row at any point early on. Let's see the next row. Savage Opress, I do like. We're gonna put a number on Savage Opress. I'm gonna put after you do Target and Leia, I think Savage Opress is a great target in here. I like HK as a target in here too, to go for Darth Revan. Darth Revan is a really great target early on for characters. And even Akbar. Akbar is number 3. Now, these are falling after Tarkin and Leia, but Savage Opress with his Omicron is a great Grand Arena character. And these other guys, HK is in there for the Darth Revan farm. Admiral Akbar, if you're going to go with a Home 1 fleet, I'm not excited about him, but Admiral Akbar as well. Some of you are going to get mad at this, but I don't care. Cup should not be farmed in here. Ethkoth should never be farmed. He's not useful for anything in the game. 0. Never farm Ethkoth. IG-88, I'm going to throw a number on him. He can be there for Executor, and a lot of us are going for Executor early. I'm going to give him a 2. After you get through some of the other farms, you can go for IG-88 to farm him. These farms don't take you very long once you climb in there a little bit. We're going to give these guys X's. I agree that Nuke Gunray can be effective, and he's needed for Lord Vader, but I'm just going to say X for early game players. And definitely never farm any of the gear. The gear should not be farmed in here. This should be a straight character farm. Even once you get all the characters at 7 stars, you come in here and farm the characters to get extra Shard Shop currency. That's what you do there. Okay, let's move on to the Galactic War store. This is tiring. How are you guys doing? You feeling okay? It doesn't show right now. But, and it comes in and out. You're going to get your Geonosian ships. Your Geonosian starfighters are going to be up here in this top row, and you should farm them. I don't think you should farm Jedi Counselor Starfighter. I don't think you should farm Wedge Antilles. But when you see Geonosian ships in here, when you see Ahsoka's Starfighter, you could do Jedi Counselor if you want. Doesn't get me excited, but okay. But the Geo ships are your first fleet. Farm them in here and farm Ahsoka's Starfighter in there as well. That's the place you farm those. and get them running. When you get to the rest of this, I'm going to get a bunch of X's on this stuff. X, X, X. Yeah, you guys love Phoenix. Go farm it. I'm not farming any of this stuff. Again, K2SO, you're going to need them for the profundity. Fine. Let's go. Let's see if we can get 2 rows. Let's get 2 rows here. Cad Bane, big farm. I love Cad Bane in here. In fact, I think Cad Bane should be your very first farm in this shop. He's going to do a lot of good for you, a lot of good things. He's going to go early for the credit heist. He's going to go with Boba Fett for your credit heist. Later, need him for Executor, and later you need him for Jedi Master Kenobi. Now, the rest of this is going to be X's. Luminar Unduli doesn't get used for anything in game. Night Sister Initiate doesn't get used for anything in game. Tebow has no use in game. Biggs comes in with a Jedi Master Luke farm later, whatever. Dacha has no use in game unless you're on a Jabba project. I should have been doing it like this earlier. That's a bunch of X's for you guys. There you go for that. Let's move these out of the way as we scroll down. I know you guys are enjoying me pulling the. I feel like I'm teaching class right now. I feel like I'm definitely teaching class right now. Poggle is a great farm in here. Poggle's a great farm. Put him in a 2, but he'll go with that Geo team. Once you get your Geo's farm, your Geo Soldier, your Geo Spy, Sunfac. Poggle goes with that team, and then you got to get Geobrood Alpha, but you can't get Geobrood Alpha to level 83. That's when you need Poggle at 7 stars. So get Poggle at 7 stars before you get there. The rest of this, yeah, it's just going to be a bunch of poo. It's just going to be a bunch of poo. We bring it in. I'm just going to put X's and X's. Don't farm the rest of this stuff. It's not going to help you in game. You do need stuff. You need Phasma for Kylo Ren. You need Resistance Pilot for Rey. IGD6 you need for nobody. Magma Trooper goes on an Iden Versio team and nowhere else. Tusken Raider you need for Jabba, but you can get him eventually. No big deal. The mod shop. The mod shop. For early game players, this is just a big fat X. Don't ever farm in here. Don't ever buy mods in here. Go farm them in the mod game node, the mod store. Go get. Don't buy mods in here. Don't buy mods in here. The only time anybody should be buying mods in here is if you get over 100 million credits. And when you get down to 50, you stop. You just don't. This is not a good place to get mods. If you're over 100, if you're at 100 million credits, spend 50 million, buy some mods, be very specific. I would only buy the gold mods with speed secondaries or the perfect ones that I want to get on my team. Otherwise, I'm not paying for it. Get a lot of credits before you do that. Okay, let's start right here. This is an easy number. It's showing for me. This is awesome. Let's get this number 1 moved right here. This is the number 1 thing you're looking for in the Fleet Arena shop, and it's going to be the Razor Crest. Every time you see this as a new player, you need to always have about 2,000 fleet currency on hand. And every time you see the Razor Crest, you buy it. Let's do some more here. In this slot right here, you're going to see General Grievous and you're going to see Darth Vader. They come from time to time. Every time you see General Grievous and Darth Vader in this slot, you buy them. That's why you keep 2,000 fleet currency on hand. Every time you see Darth Vader or Grievous in your spot, you buy them. I'm going to come over here to Sunfax Geo Starfighter. Same thing. Until you get it to 7 stars, it's a slow farm otherwise. Every time you see Sunfax Geo Starfighter here, you buy it. It pops up occasionally in the Galactic War store, but it's going to be here in the Fleet Arena store quite often. And every time you see it, you buy it. Let's go. I got one more for you. You don't see him right now. Sunfac will pop up in here too. He's a difficult farm otherwise. Every time you see Sunfac until he's 7 stars in the Fleet Arena store, you buy him. That's why you save 2,000 currency to buy Sunfac, to buy Vader, to buy Grievous, to buy Sunfac's ship. You could get Spy, but you'll be able to farm him pretty easily. I wouldn't really recommend that. And to get the Razor Crest. A very close number 2, and really once you are finished that, and if you have more than 1,000, or if you have more than a couple thousand Fleet Arena, and if you can spend 2,000 Fleet Arena currency and still have 2,000 left, then you buy these Zeta mats every single time. But you want to always keep a store of 2,000 currency up here. Always buy these Zeta mats. Again, we're talking to new players, and everything else in here is going to be an X. I realize Plo Koon, yeah, but you can get Plo Koon in Galactic War store and other places. You can farm them later. Everything else in here is an X. Those are the people you should look for, the characters and ships you should look for in the Fleet Arena store. Guild Event store. Let's talk about this. I mentioned Wampa earlier. And Rebel Officer Leia Organa, and here they are again. Whoa, it's not a 2. It's a 1, baby. The first thing you farm in this store with your get one currency, which when you join a guild and start playing territory battles, you start getting this. Wampa, 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 and then Wampa. That's the first thing you start here. Then if you're going to go do an Old Republic Darth Revan farmer, then you would save for Malik. Or if you're going to go do a gas farm, you would save for gas. Because these unlock, once you get them unlocked in their journeys, they unlock a 5-star in their journeys. Then you finish them here. Hermit Yoda is number 2 also. I like him here. And if you're going to go get Jabba, you're doing a Jabba Rush account, you're going to get Hermit Yoda here. And if we scroll up, there's Rebel Officer Leia Organa. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. And this is where I really get a little bit difficult. I don't know how I'm going to... There's 1 or 2 for Rebel Officer Leia Organa, because I really do believe, and I always have, that Negotiator and Malevolence are the first things you should be farming with this Get To Mark II Guild Event tokens, this Get To currency. Negotiator, Malevolence. I think Malevolence first, because you've already got the Geo ships. You can farm those droidless, those pilotless ships from Malevolence. You just get it all right up and running right away. And Negotiator second. But with that Jabba rush, you're going to rush to Jabba. You may be looking at Rebel Officer Leia Organa here. I don't know. It depends on how much of your Mark II currency you're getting over in the other shop. Maybe you do Wampa over here. Maybe you just farm Wampa here and with your Mark II currency until you get them from the guild activity store. Then maybe you farm Yoda with your Mark II here and Mark II currency until you get them. And then you farm Rolo with just your Mark II currency over there. We'll see how that goes. Again, I'm talking just Jabba farm. If you're not going for Jabba or Jedi Master, you can farm these otherwise. Other than that, once you've got all of that done, once you got Malevolence done, Negotiator done, once you've got all of these characters farmed, then you can start farming Kyratex with your Get To, and that's the only thing. The only thing you should farm with your Get To, once you get those characters done, is going to be Kyratex with your Get To, and you can farm all of the gear. All the gear, well, I take it back. These first 2 rows of gear is where you should be farming, and honestly, your number 1 priority is going to be right here. And that's not a 1, that's a 2. Your number 1 priority for this gear is right here in these boxes. Now this is after you've got all the characters farmed, okay? Once the characters are all 7-star, you can start spending this get 1 currency on this gear. These two boxes are your number 1 priority. You cannot get enough of these. You cannot get enough of these. You cannot get enough of them. That's your priority, but that's only after you farmed all of the characters to 7 stars. Any of the gear down below here, those are all going to be X's, X's, X's. That is our guild event store. Grand Arena store. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if I get one thing through your thick skulls with this video, if I get one thing, I'm going to ignore everything but 1 box in this store. Everything but 1 box in this store. And here it is. You don't get a lot of this Grand Arena currency. You just don't get a lot of it. Every single ounce of Grand Arena currency goes toward Kyratex. Period. End of story. Walk away if you disagree. It's not my problem. You're wrong. Every single ounce of Grand Arena currency goes toward Kyratex in this store. Both Kyratex, the laptop and the squid, both Kyratex. Nothing else is farmed in the Grand Arena store. Shard Shop, we're getting to the end here. Shard Shop. Don't farm Grievous. Don't do it here. You farm him in that Fleet Arena store, and in the Fleet Arena store only. You know, drink. This is longer than I thought it'd be. Don't farm Grievous here. Farm him in the Fleet Arena store only. That's the only place you farm him. All this other gear here, I don't believe. So when you see a gear piece that costs $720, when you see this gear piece here, no, you can get that now with your Mark 1 currency. Mark 3 currency? I don't know. The basic currency from the raid rewards, you can farm this. You don't farm this node, you don't farm this node. The stuff that costs $720 in here, the stuff that costs $720, I'm generally not touching. Especially now since I can farm it, at my choice with the raid rewards, okay? What I am farming in here is the same thing again. You see this? Do you see this, guys? It's the same thing I just said in the guild event store. You can't get enough of these. You can't get, I have a ton of them right now, so I have 815 of those, I don't need those. Right here, you look at these. A lot of times you'll be short on these pieces as well. That's your second priority, but number 1 is gonna be right here. And right here, if you're low on these pieces, because we look at this, well, I think that's a different piece than I'm thinking. There's another circle. Is it a Mark 7 or something that I'm a lot lower on? But this is where you spend the majority of your currency. and maybe all of it in the shard shop. This is maybe changed with the raid rewards now. All your currency spend on these, and only in this row. This is the primary row to look at to spend here in this shop. Below that, it's all going to be X's. You can farm all this stuff with your raid currency. This is all X's down here. Don't farm it. You can farm all of this stuff with your raid currency. You don't need it in the shard shop. Conquest. I'll say this once and I'll say it a million times. The only thing you should be farming in here, and this is not meant for Admiral Trench specifically, but you should only be farming characters in this shop. And you can farm these characters in the scavenger stores in Conquest, but you should not be farming the gear in these shops. And you should definitely not be farming this garbage up here. You should not be farming the gear. You have many other places to get gear in the game now. This is not the place. Don't spend your Conquest currency on gear. Spend it here on characters, and spend it in Conquest itself in the scavenger shops as well. Finally, we get to the Datacon store. Now, the Datacon store is important, and I do spend in here. In fact, I got some stuff to spend right now. I enjoy, oh, I'm looking through, I need 1905, 1950, okay. So, I love Datacrons. I love putting them on my mid and early game rosters. They make a difference in Grand Arena. They make a difference in territory wars. I love Datacrons. I like to spend my shard shop currency in here. But if you're early game, you really need to have not really. You have to have a full Relic 3 team to be able to use any Datacron of any kind. And Relic 5 is the only way that you can use all the abilities on the Datacron. So unless you're deep in and you've got these teams that are all Relic 3, like the whole team. If you put one Gear 12 or one Relic 1 or one Gear 10 character in there, you can't use a Datacron on that team. So you should only be spending in here when you've got a team or two that you can use Datacrons on and that they'll fit. If you get Wampa up to Relic 5, you go get a Datacron for him, bam, it helps you out. There you go, boys and girls. That is how you look at shipments. This is my beginner's guide to shipments for you. I hope this helped you. I'm going to put I'll make sure to have the tags in here on this video so you guys can check the shops you want to check. I hope this helps you as a beginner. I hope this helps you starting off a new account. I hope this helps you all the time. I don't know about you, but I'm a little tired right now. That was I didn't know this was going to take 37 minutes to record this video, but it did. And I'm glad I could help you guys out. Let me know how you feel about it. If I missed something, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I hope you guys, I'm trying to find this video. I hope you guys are having a great day. Go out there, spread love all around. Make sure to like and subscribe. There'll be a middle button up there for you to do that here shortly. And of course, always remember, nuke's too good.